Okay. Are we good? Let's see. Yep, that's good. I think that's where I want it. Chat is okay. Welcome, Master, to the stream. Let's see. Is the controller... Controller is fine and dandy. Walking is slightly jittery, but that's how it gets during the streaming performance. Okay, hello everybody, my name is Chris Unlimited. Welcome back to my garage. Okay, yep. Let's see what orders we have. Car's loud, that's gonna be easy. We'll bring that one in. What else we got? Tranny. That looks like just transmission. We can do that, no problem. Yeah, they're letting us off easy a little bit today. Okay. Now, I haven't played this in a couple days. Although a couple days ago, you know, last time I played, like right before I was getting ready to go to bed, I had an interesting car come in. And I was going to show you guys, but of course, you guys weren't on. How's my day? Not bad. Not bad, I guess. I hadn't really gotten anything done. This whole time changeover thing messes with me a lot. And, yeah, instead of normally, like, just about going to sleep at 3 to 4, I'm now going to sleep at 4 to 5 because we're an hour ahead. And unfortunately, that means I'm getting up. Instead of like 11 to 12, it's like 12 to 1, 1 to 2. So, anyway, guys, I wanted to show you this cool car. The car itself is just like a lame car, but look at this. They got it painted on there. It looks like it's like a shark or a dinosaur front, you know, with teeth and everything. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And now that I look at it when I'm more awake, it's not that cool. But, I mean, it's just like, I was like, oh, man, that's cool. I want to get that on stream. Should we continue our stories? Oh no, not our stories. I mean, what stories do you want to continue? This is Garage Talk. We can talk about anything, man. Life, the universe, how to change your oil, you know. Anything you want. Ugh. I am now level 26, so I'm really close to being able to restore cars, which is great. Oh, you were done with teachers? Yeah. I know we were talking about teachers, we were talking about food. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that just needs a rear muffler, see? Okay. I'm looking into some better tea. I don't know if that's really a story. Rear muffler C, there we go. Yeah, usually I've got like the Lipton mix that... Hey, Red Sword. Yeah, that's usually my poison of choice here. But, I've been kind of having like some problems with my hands. Like stiffening up and various joints, you know, obviously I'm just old. That car is done. Yeah, that was super easy, one part. But, yeah, let's show this bad boy up there. These are kind of some neat looking cars. I'm not bad. The time change is messing me up. You know, we jump ahead an hour and suddenly it's like I'm sleeping at odd hours, and it was weird when the time change happened because I was up, you know, because it changes from 2 to 3. So I was up and like sitting here in front of the computer working on something, and I watched it roll from like 1:59 to 3. So it's like, whoa. Huh. Yep, there went my hour. Okay, what do we got? Cannot start car allowed when accelerating gearbox shifts rough. Okay. So we'll take care of the easy things first. The exhaust. Yeah, I can see the gearbox from here. The exhaust looks pretty clean except for that part I took off, so rear muffler. V8 OHV, there we go. Anyway, I was telling you about my tea. I'm thinking about, you know, I've just been drinking like straight up Lipton blend tea here, you know. I mean, it's okay tea and I like it and whatnot, but I'm thinking about incorporating in some like green tea to help with some antioxidants, because I was doing some research and I read that that can be good for like stiff joints and stuff. I gotta take that off from the engine bay. Curse you! Making me having to bring this down, just take the starter off. No! But, oh, good God, it goes that way. Oh, he promised, he was here a couple days when, like, nobody else was here. And so he liked my content. So he promised that he would be here every day. Now, I know there's been a couple of days he's kind of missed, but, you know, I told him, I was like, you know, I don't expect him to be here every single time. But, I mean, generally he's been here at least to show up to say, hey, I'm here, hi, how's it going? You know, the majority of the time. So that was his promise. He promised he'd be here. But like I told him, you know, I was like, you don't have to be here every single one. But, you know, it was nice to have somebody to talk to. Let's see. It looks like the clutch and flywheel are actually clean. So we just need to get, what is that? Gearbox 14 RWO. Oh, RWD, rear wheel drive. That makes sense. If I can type. Right there we go. But yeah, so I'm looking into getting some really good like green tea instant mix to just incorporate some extra antioxidants in. And I'd also like to get one that doesn't have sugar, because I'm a fat man and I don't get a lot of exercise, so I probably don't need that extra in my life. But you know, we'll take what we can get. I did find some though, like it's at Walmart, but like not at Walmart, it's at their online, that uses Splenda instead of regular sugar. So I'm like, hey, that might be an option. But hey, we'll give it a shot. Car won't start. I think you need a starter. But yeah, you know, just health-wise, you know. I mean, believe it or not, as much as I love cookies, I really do. I put thought into it. I might always follow that thought, but I sometimes do put thought into, hey, you know, maybe I should try something new. Because I live on tea. I pretty much live on the instant tea mix, and it's got a lot of sugar, and I know it's not great for me, but I really can't stand drinking water now that I'm on certain medications. I need something with taste to take it out of my mouth, you know what I'm saying? But, yeah. All right. Let's see. Got that. Car won't start. We have only 4 parts, really? All right. Well, if the car won't start, first thing you check is the starter. It was terrible. Second thing you check is your distributor cap and coil. And judging by this, your distributor cap is toast. Okay, oh, we gotta take out the clips. Oh, these are annoying. Okay. Thank you. Can I? It's like, can you slow that down a minute? I'm pretty sure that was it. What is that? Ignition distributor cap 16. Let's go just cap. I didn't do bad. Whoop, whoop, nope, nope. There we go. See, I like to type in like the smallest word possible to get to the thing I need. Saves my hand some time typing and discombobulating there. Okay. Yeah, even in the newfangled cars, unless you've got like a relay that, or a fuse relay that's out, it's usually the distributor, the coil, or the starter, obviously. Can be your battery too sometimes, but this particular one, that's another thing I wish this game, like, I mean, it's great that it marks everything, but if you want to get like more realistic, you wouldn't have it like a cheat sheet where it's like, okay, you got these 5 things, and like it's, even though it doesn't tell you what's wrong, it's like it knows what's wrong. Okay, yeah, this is just gearbox, so this one's, well, we got a lot of I mean, when I picked these because they were easy, I didn't expect them to be this easy. But, okay. Hey, we'll take what we can get. Hey, this kind of looks like a Comet. It really looks like a Comet. Comet was going to be my first type of car, as a Ford Comet. My grandfather had... Well, let's see. Let me back up that. So, my dad's dad. Can I take you off? Good. My dad had his car had pretty much been toasted. That's when I was a little kid. He was in between cars. I don't remember if that's the one that got wrecked the one time or not. But anyway, we were in between cars, and so my grandfather, my dad's dad, he found this car semi cheap. It was an older model Ford Comet. Yeah, flywheels bad. That's the first time I've ever seen on this game where all the clutch pieces aren't bad. And normally it's like, yeah, you gotta take off all 3. This one's like, a couple of them are good. But I'm just going to replace the whole thing anyway. So anyway, my grandfather found this car, and he he drove it down for my dad. It was a Ford Comet. It's a two-door, you know, car that kind of looks like this one. And it was a cool car. And so my dad used it for a little while, and then, you know, he was able to get a different car after that. And then at some point, because my grandfather, he knew a guy, you know, he was friends with one of the people up there in Chicago, one of the local dealers, and he knew a guy. So if he had a good deal, he could get him, you know, if he had a good enough deal, he would obviously, you know, try to find my dad a car. Eventually, my dad got like this station wagon, you know, through this deal that my grandfather had, and you know, we rode around in that for a while, and it was a newer station wagon back in the 80s, you know. But yeah, so this Comet was there, and my dad told me, you know, because I was getting like 10, 11, 12, you know, 12 we moved to a completely different area, but my dad told me, because we moved the Comet with, he's like, that'll be your car when you get old enough to drive. So he was just kind of holding on to that because it was an older car, you know, and it was, I don't want to say it was an old beater, but it was kind of rusted out in spots. And I mean, it was a brown color. It wasn't very pretty. Hey, Master, welcome to stream. Or, hey, Matt, welcome to the stream. I'm always doing that. You know, you come in, I'm forever calling Master Matt, and now I've just called Matt Master. I can't read. I can't read. Gearbox V8 OHV. See, so don't feel bad. I reverse it all the time. V8 OHV. No. gearbox. So anyway, we moved and we had this car, right? And my dad, this place that we moved to, it had a shed out back, and we just he drove the car and put it in there. That's not right. It had a garage out front too. We parked this car in front, and he's like, yeah, this will be your car. So I was waiting like 4 years, right? I was going to get this car, right? So he had it licensed, he had it insured, obviously, because you have to do that because it's sitting there. And so after we got moved in and everything, my uncle, which was my mom's brother, because we basically moved by my mom's mom, because she was getting older, but my grandfather had passed away. My mom's dad, I got to clarify, my mom's dad had passed away, and she really didn't have anybody except her, my mom's brother that was there living with her. But it was kind of like, made the decision, well, you're gonna go live closer to her. So we did, because she didn't have anybody, and really, and anybody buy her or anything. Yeah, take a look at this car. I love the fact it's got the teeth. It looks like a shark or a dinosaur or something. I thought that was cool. I made sure to just leave that one here in my garage. Also, it needs a lot of work. We'll take care of that. But anyway, so we had this Comet. And my dad had told me, well, that's going to be your car when because you're starting to get old enough to learn how to drive. Once you get out and learn how to drive, it's going to be your car. Should switch birth certificate. God, we got Spark doing that enough. Please don't do that. Don't confuse me. I'm just an old man. I can't keep, and it's not that I think that you're the same person. It's just like, it's like that, how like you glance at something when you're reading, it's like your brain, what do they call that? Like when you look at a page and you skim words, my brain does that. And it's like, it flips it. It sees the M and the A and it just locks onto one of the words, and it's usually not the one that's supposed to be. Okay, transmission is noisy. Loud acceleration. Let's pop the hood and make sure where the starter is. Oh, this is a sideways boy. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, that starter's gonna need to come off over here. No, it's never a good idea to confuse Chris. Don't confuse Chris. Chris has enough problems. So anyway, right? So my mom's brother realized they had that clunker car sitting there and they weren't using it. So he started asking to borrow it on the weekends, and he's kind of guy that goes out, drinking and partying and whatnot. And I mean, he's not, even my uncle, he's not a bad guy, but sometimes he does things that aren't necessarily smart. Well, one day he had it, and he had been using it quite a bit, and a tow truck shows up at our house, towing in the car. We're like, oh, what the heck? 5 huge Cheetos? That's not like much. Like thick and wide. Okay, why can I not take that off? Oh, it's got one of those things. Yeah, oh, it's got a turbocharger. I hate cars that are souped up like this. Anywho. So anyway, this car comes back in, right, on the tow truck. My uncle, my mom's brother, he had apparently been driving, and his story was that, like there were some cans or something in the car, that apparently one of them had rolled kind of underneath where his feet were, which if you ever had something in the car that rolls under your pedal, it's dangerous, you can't stop, etc. So he had reached down to get something and chuck it, And when he did, the car kind of went off the road just a smidgen, and he got the right tire. Like he just went over like one of these little bridges with a culvert. He got the tire on the other side of the cement, and when he, because he reached down, and when he pulled back, it basically popped like the tie rod, the axle, everything. So the tires, the left one was straight, the right one was off to the side a bit. Obviously couldn't drive it because it had no control over that. So all these lovely pieces that we replace over here, like the tie rod, the axle, the etc., everything over here was bent, and it was going to have to all be replaced. It was not worth it to do it for the price of the car. So my dad was angry, obviously. My mom was angry, and I don't think my uncle ever really paid for that because, one, he didn't really have the money, and two, it wasn't a car they were using, so they just let it slide, I guess. What are they gonna do? So anyway, that car sat there in our front in our driveway, not being able to be used because of that. And I thought, great, there goes my car, and I'd dink around with it. Let's see, but that car never did get repaired. Let's see, I played around with some of the stuff in it, and would mess around, like taking belts off, putting them back on, and really it was just it never got repaired. So eventually, when we were moving from that house, my dad finally had it towed, but we had it stored like in this back area. It was kind of fun. I'd go sit in it and pretend like, hey, it's gonna be my car. It never happened. Yeah, that's why you gotta watch like who you loan things to, even if you're not using them. And definitely, if somebody breaks something, have them repair it. Don't put that off, and I don't care if they can't afford it or not. If they broke it, make them repair it. Fear box, yeah, that's what I typed in. Why was it never repaired? Because it costs too much to do. Yeah. This was an old clunker, it ran, but it was an old car that my parents weren't using. It was a two-door car. It wasn't like something they absolutely needed to get repaired. It was supposed to be, for like when I turned 16, but it just didn't work out that way. What does that have? Oh, good God. Yeah, we got to get all that off. Okay. Because, yeah, like all the parts, like normally we do like this rebuild here. I'm not really looking at the price of all this, but it would have been several $1,000s for this car that I don't even think costs $1,000 when they got it, It was more money than what honestly we didn't have it to do, and it would have been more to work to put into it. So yeah, you go by the definition of totaled. The price of the repair was more than the car, more than what we paid for the car, so it was totaled. Yeah. But it was kind of neat to have like this old car just sitting around, and as a teenager you're always like, well, I'm gonna fix it up. Nah, it never happened. I got memories of sitting in the car. I got memories of this car that I never got to drive. It's like I couldn't drive it now. I wouldn't want to drive it now. It did though. It sounded like rough, and like you think of like how a muscle car sounds like. It had a good roar to it, but it was ugly. It was. But as a teenager, you don't care. You would have drove it. Yeah. Yep, you've been paying attention. You know what totaled means. But yeah, it was just crazy. My uncle basically totaled it. And for something, I mean, that would have been a good car for a teenager to have, because it was an ugly old thing, you know? Yeah. I mean, we know what I'm telling people. I used to have to work on cars as a teenager, not like at a shop or something, but because we always had something going out. And you know, I've kind of told the story before, but I'm not sure if you were around, Master. And Avante? What? But you know, my dad used to have all these weird things that would happen to his car. And, you know, as I got older, he realized that I was really good at mechanical things, and he'd want me to help him. But see, he wouldn't want me to help him until after he'd already, like, torn it apart. And by then I couldn't help him because I didn't know how he took it apart. So, oh, why do I have 4 of these things? Forward, it's French for forward. Keep moving forward, yeah. Front drive shaft. Okay. But I used to have to repair brakes. You know, we'd help out doing things like that. So what we did as teenagers, I mean, if you were a teenager, they pretty much expected you to be out working on something. It's like, really? That was just the thing. It's like, oh yeah, give it to them. They can tinker with it. No. But yeah, I know. So, you know, through my experiences as a teenager, helping out friends with various things and whatnot, I know how to change brakes. I know how to, you know, change a tire. I think everybody should know how to change a tire and at least check your oil. I know how to change oil. I could technically just put on tie rods. But all the work that I'm doing here, though, the game makes it a lot easier than what it is. So I've told people, I'm like, yeah, this is a little harder to do than what it's letting on. So I forgot. I gotta keep the tire off because I gotta get into things. You shall not pass. Okay. This game is actually, and like I've said before, I'm not like a big car guy, even though I play this game a lot. This game for me is more of a puzzle, but also because, you know, of my muscle disease. I absolutely hate working on cars, or when I was a teenager, worked on cars, because it was like every other weekend, you always had something you had to go do. And I hated it. It was a time sucker. You know, it was always like, do we have brake problems? Knocking sound, loud with accelerating. Transmission is good now. Suspension and running gear, so no brake problems. I would probably replace that, but it doesn't say it's a problem, so I gotta work with what I got. Is that a... Oh, I think that might be a problem. Yeah, 54. What's your 54? I might replace it anyway. But yeah, we used to have to work on all this stuff like when I was a teenager. And now with all my problems that I have, like with my muscles, I kind of miss working with my hands. So this game actually has been a lot of fun for me to play, just because it allows me to run in here and dive under a car and, you know, fix things, which I miss the ability to fix something. It's not that I miss the working on the cars, but I miss being able to just like walk out somewhere, crawl under something, and get a job done. You know what I'm saying? That's the part I miss. So this game really really allows me to do that without, you know, physical damage to myself, I guess. So let's just get a new hub for there. But this really is a really good, like, puzzle game. Let alone, you know, like the whole mechanic or the running of the shop part. I mean, eventually you kind of get on like, hey, these puzzles are very similar because you keep doing the same jobs over and over. But I don't know. I find it very cathartic. Like I said, with my particular issues that I have, I enjoy it. Yep. And at the time, they didn't call World War I World War I. They just called it the Great War. Obviously, how did they know they were going to have another one? Front shock absorber A. Okay. See, and because of World War I and World War II, that's kind of why the U.S. doesn't like to join certain groups. You know, like be a part of the UN and etc. Yes. Because those whole alliances are why they had that to begin with. It was never called World War I at the time. And they didn't know they were going to have a second. It was just called the Great War. And looking back on it, you say, yeah, that's World War I. Just like World War II. No, technically they had one already. Did they call it World War II? I think almost all war is terrible. I mean, you can't show me one war where like, yeah, that was a good war. No. No. War is just terrible no matter which way you look at it. I think that piece is okay. We'll know after it yells at me for not fixing it. Alright, there's gonna be a lot of rear stuff on this, I know it. Because this stuff, I mean, it's semi-rusted, but it's not really, you know, bad. Oh, yeah, look at this. Ugh. Oh, yeah, we got trouble, boys. Look at all this rusted out parts. Let's just take that tire off. Okay. Because I forget all the exact parts that you need, but certain things will not let you take it off without taking off the tire. Exactly. I don't remember if actually as it was going on, I think it was called the Second World War because they had already, you know, by then we had said, okay, this is an entire... The Great War was the World War. And they were like, you know, this is World War II. This is the Second Great War. Alright, we're gonna have to replace all these shocks. I think this knuckle's bad as well. Yeah, it's another thing like I've told you guys before. This game makes it so easy to find parts. It's like, oh, I wonder what's bad. We'll just look under here and see what's all rusted out. Yep, that's bad. You don't kind of get that in real life. It's like, nope. Well, that's kind of what I was saying. Like, when it was happening, I believe they did call it the Second Great War. But obviously, as history has moved on, it's like, oh, yep, that was World War II. WWII. Oh yeah, we're gonna need all kinds of rubber. What you call it? Yeah. Rubber, bushings. Bushing. I like the way you guys like open up Wikipedia and just start copying and pasting. Like, you know. Could you imagine though a time like where so many people got sent over to places? Yeah, that's crazy to me to think like you'd have to ration certain things like metal and copper, and you know, you'd have all these because they need the metal for planes and they need the metal for this, and you know. You don't need no Wikipedia. I can't hardly remember a lot of facts anymore just because you don't need to remember stuff, you know? I mean, in one respect, I kind of like technology because of that. Because it's like you're not forced to have to remember all this stuff. I'm gonna buy an extra. But also at the same time, it's like if you don't have your phone on you, you don't remember anything. And it's like, well, I know something happened there, you know. No. Case in point, phone numbers. Nobody remembers phone numbers anymore. I can remember phone numbers of places that I lived because we had to, you know. But I couldn't tell you, like, I know my current phone number, but it took me forever to learn it. If I change phones, forget it. I couldn't tell you, like, if there was an emergency and you needed to call somebody, I couldn't tell you who to call. Nope, come here. Well, actually, I do need one of these. I need that right now, though. Did I have one of these that was nope? Nope. It weren't good. Okay. I need a rear sway bar. Is it an A or a B? I think it's an A. I was right. Yay. I think I need that little piece to hold it on to as well. I also like when you put in pieces like that, it's like, that just floats. You know what? I'm just gonna buy one because I know the other side You gotta have two, so. Well, I got it sitting here looking at me on this, on the shop page. I'll just buy it. There we go. All right, now. Okay, we're gonna need two rear springs, two spring caps, and the tops. Yeah, oh, the rear shock absorber cap. There we go. Yeah. I don't know where he gets the stuff to copy and paste from, but it's a pretty good site. They got the info. Okay. I think I've got all the rubbers on there. There we go. Yeah, I think I can put the tire back on. Although, the tire itself looks like it's all beat up, but you know, I haven't really gotten anything to really test those with, nor has it been an issue. So, alright, what is this? This is a rear axle housing A. Yeah, that's pretty bad. I mean, of all the things, like, yeah, they... Why? It's like a running joke now, you know? I need a rear wheel hub. There we go. Oh, it's 60%. I like the way it's like, no, it looks like garbage, but it's 60%. We'll leave it. Okay, rubber bushing. Rubber bushing. Oh, I didn't have to. I knew I'd probably have more to do on that. Yeah, between the Bismarck and the Titanic, I think humanity as a whole should have learned you don't build the biggest water boat ever. It's not going to work. Just make them normal size. That's kind of what I would take away. It's like, no, 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 no. Don't be the biggest, first biggest whatever. No, no, no. Make it a size you can handle, you know? Because as awesome as it looks and you want to be the first, nah, it's just going to break. It's going to be a big disaster. The paddle boat. Because you can't go across. Why is... Rear shock absorber air, rear air suspension. Oh. Yeah. Figures. And because you can't get over the ocean in a paddle boat, it would take way too long. That's the reason we need steam engines, you know, a machine to propel you through the water. Honestly, though, nowadays, is it even more cost effective to even do that, though? Because we ship stuff by air now, you know? Is it actually cheaper to ship by boat? EA Sports, welcome. Yeah, that's my question now. It's like, you know, is it still cheaper to do that? Because, you know, with air travel the way it is, and the way everything ships nowadays, I would assume that it is not cheaper to do. Technically, that's what an engine is for a ship. I mean, what do you think a propeller in the water is? That's basically, it's a paddle. It's scientifically designed paddle that works better than just like a paddle wheel or, you know, the rowboat. Because Florida is easy to get to from other close by island nations that have those type of problems coming in. I can't verify for the creep, but it's because it's easy. It's one of the easier places to get drugs through. That's why. Okay, I have a rubber bushing that is bad. So let's take a look. Oh no, I just didn't put it back. Okay. I was gonna say, how do I know it's bad? Well, because I took it off. And I didn't put it back. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, that's why Florida has such a big drug problem. It's because people can get to it easily. If you're gonna smuggle drugs in, you go for a state that's got a lot of water. You can just, you know, come in at night with a rowboat and a bunch of drugs, you know? And they say it's nice, but... Oh, yeah, I gotta put the starter on. Yeah, I gotta put the starter on. No, this is a sideways one, so... Jack it down. Here we go. I mean, I've never really wanted to live in Florida. Like, at all. I mean, yeah, ooh, it's warm, but no. I mean, I like semi-warm weather, but no. That's just never been a spot I wanted to go to. I don't like the ocean. Never have. I don't like hurricanes. I don't like humidly hot weather and stuff. I don't like it. Yeah. More weirdos. No, no, no. Weirdos now. You Portland, Oregon. That's what they tell you. Portland. That's where all the weirdos are. So says somebody. I don't know. That's like the joke. Portland weird. And it's like, okay. This one will probably be okay. Let me look and see. Oh, I got a couple points. Okay. I could get that. Could just rip the tires off, you know, either way. I'm 26. I could get repair, faster part installation removal. What's this? I mean, I haven't done any of those yet. What's this one? Part examination. Yeah, we'll go repairs and faster pulling. Okay. All right, Matt. Well, hopefully you... I kind of like that car color. It's the same color as my cup. All right, what's wrong with this thing? Suspension clunk and rattle. Parallel running gear, car is hard to control. All right, throw it up on the lifter. Let me take a look at that. What's wrong with this one? Vehicle cannot be started, loud when accelerating. Struggles to find gears, repair, okay. I need a gearbox, you need a couple of things to make it start. And some exhaust work. You're probably the easiest one to work on. Ah, wrong button. Alright, let's get the easy one out of the way first. I like how it's like both convertibles. It's like, oh yeah. Kind of miss my radio playing, actually. Curse you, YouTube. Won't let me play my radio. I don't know why, but I got like a lot of Rihanna on the radio. Just... I just listen to that usually while I'm tinkering around or... No particular reason, it's just whatever. Whenever I was looking for music, it's like, you know, that sounds good to listen to right now. It's fine. Okay, so... The manifold definitely needs to be replaced. But we'll do what we can under here. Also... we gotta take everything off. Can't reach a starter from here, can we? Nope. Okay. Okay, middle muffler. Exhaust pipe. That's it. Okay. Oh, middle muffler, yes. Yeah, I kind of miss not having my music working on it. Oh well, we'll grind through it. There we go. Alright, that's... We gotta jack this down anyway, let's take a look. Okay, first of all, pull that starter. I hate the fact that they won't let you take a starter off from underneath. Like, I realize it's up halfway up there, but some of these, it's very close, and you can actually get to it really easy from underneath. They're like, nope, can't do it. I'm like, let me just get it. That's so arbitrary. It's like, no. Okay, I'm gonna exhaust manifold 14B. That one right, Chera. Hopefully I don't have to take off the block. But I don't think I do. It didn't say major engine issues. It just having other issues. So, all right, this is a front wheel drive sideways looking car here. So, unfortunately, you get the drive axle off. You got to take the tires off. See, that's one thing I don't like. I don't mind like a drive shaft, a normal car with a normal drive shaft that you can like take off one end, bring it down. But when you have to like disassemble almost half the front end just to take all the pieces off so that you can reach, that's terrible. Poor design, poor design. And you're telling me there's nothing on there that, oh, look at that. Ew, look at that. I need to go check and see if I can repair any of this. Because every time you get like an upgrade on repair, you get more parts that you can repair. Sometimes it's stuff you shouldn't be able to repair. Like brake shoes, you shouldn't be able to repair those. Yeah, you can't repair a brake pad, they wear down. But I've been able to repair brake pads. It's like, nah, like, and this. I guess I'll have that for the next car that comes in with an issue. Oh yeah, clutch plate. Sure, just scrape off the... Nah, I'll freshen it up a little bit. Sure, why not? Like, I remember I've got a clutch plate in here that's good. I always buy them at all the parts anyway. Alright, let's, flywheel. Clutch. Supposedly I have a clutch plate that's good, so. No, I'd like to go over here, please. Thank you. There we go. Yeah, and some of them I guess are just too far gone that you can't repair them, but I mean some of the stuff they're like, oh, you can repair this. No, you can't. It should be like, the reason why it's bad is because it rusted out. Just like this, I've got, why do I have these gearboxes? I might have gotten them from like a junkyard and I repaired them. Technically, no. It would, now, I guess, kind of to give this game credit, technically I'm not doing this from home. You know, I am doing it at an actual, I'm supposed to be a professional mechanic, so I guess it does kind of, but yeah, some of these things, it's like, you would never do that on your own. Well, you might if you had a shop. I'm gonna regret putting those on, ain't I? Maybe. I don't know. I'm not seeing like just... There's not anything just screaming at me, hey, this... You know. Okay, clutch, clutch, clutch. Oh, no, we don't have... I was thinking suspension. No. Okay, so we're good there. Let's drop her down. We just had to figure out why it's not starting. I mean, the starter probably had an issue, but I'm also going to bet that this bad boy up here is bad. Alright, yeah, so we need to buy one ignition coil, please. Now, I think that's kind of funny because I've had cars. I've never had a car not start because one spark plug or one ignition coil wasn't there. It's usually like something major like the starter or, you know, the solenoid or like your distributor cap. What do I know about cars? Well, they got 4 wheels and you drive them. I've had to work on cars a lot as a teenager. Brake repair. I've done brake repair, changing tires, changing oil, head gaskets. I've never actually tore apart an engine as much as I have in this game, but the game makes it like super easy. Yeah, that used to be the thing. You know, when you come from a poor family, you know, you tend to get stuck doing these jobs because it's like, well, the car is leaking oil everywhere and we can't drive it without it overheating. Now let's take a look. Well, it looks like we need a new head gasket seal. You're going to take it down to the mechanic and spend $700 on it? Or are you going to replace it yourself for like 60 bucks? No, yeah, about 60 bucks counting all the oil and everything you got to put back in the car. It's like, well, you need to do something. Okay, we got suspension and running faults. So, you know, if you're taking out an alternator, that's pretty easy stuff. You know, changing belts, changing spark plugs, all that kind of things that, you know, that could make a car like run rough or, you know, you'd have an issue with. You know, as a poor kid, you'd do that yourself because you're not going to spend, you know, hundreds of dollars taking it to a mechanic when you could just do it for, I don't know, spark plugs are like a couple bucks, you know. As long as you've got like the tool, all you need is a ratchet with a deep weld socket and well, the one made for spark plugs, you can take them right out. It's not a big deal. Ooh, that's pretty rough. But yeah, like stuff like this, like brakes, you could do regular brake pads. Drum brakes are a little tougher, but I've had to replace those as well. The bearings that are in here, it's also an issue, but not overly hard. But like taking off an entire like knuckle, no, I wouldn't do that. No, I wouldn't recommend, you know, you teenagers take out that. Just like these shocks. These shocks are compressed. They had some force on them. I don't know if you'd necessarily want to take them off in your own, you know, setting there. But little things you could do. But like, see, like another thing, like this game oversimplifies. These suspensions, you kind of want to have, like, you wouldn't take a jack and just like kind of jack up. You want to make sure you have like a lot of the, you're going to have it up on blocks and you're going to block it off and, you know, just basically have it to where you can work on it. But you also need to make sure that you, on some of these pieces, like you take off the right things in the right order, because the weight of it will, you know, cause the piece not to work correctly. I mean, honestly, yeah, if you guys have an interest in cars, that used to be something like teenagers, especially guys, right, who were all supposed to like cars and whatever. I never really cared to work on cars, but it was something I had to do as a kid or as a teenager because we were poor. You know, now tie rods, those always went to a mechanic because we were told, and by more mechanics, that there's hydraulics in those that could, you know, if you don't do it right, basically it would just like could shoot off and kill you. But honestly, I've seen people replace these, and I'm pretty sure that was a lie, because there's no real big like hydraulics in these. It's just getting them to line up and go into the steering rack. But this game does oversimplify a lot, and it also doesn't have like all the hoses and everything that you would see in a car. So, you know, I mean, obviously, if you like the way this game's set up, you know, I'm definitely check it out, and it does get you familiar with a lot of the things. It's just I wouldn't say, okay, well, if you can do it here in the game, you can do it in real life, because it's, you know, obviously that's just not the way it is. Yeah, also, like, if this is your main form of transportation, you're not going to tear it apart and then go looking for parts. You're going to want to have everything ready beforehand. But yeah, you know, my weekends as a teenager were pretty much, every other weekend was pretty much spent working on somebody's vehicle, whether it was ours or a friend's. Yes, thank you for that trivia. I tell you what, guys, though, I do plan on making a video. Because you guys, some of you have asked, like, how much of this is actually real? Or, you know, would be... I need 2 of those. Okay, I'm just going to order 2 of these and 2 of these. There's another guy out there that I like to watch sometimes, like, especially a couple years ago when I could still get... Okay, we'll say a couple years. I'm like talking like 4 years. But I do watch him on occasion, like if somebody needs something. There's a mechanic channel out there called Chris Fix. No relation to me, obviously. Chris is not, you know. But I like to watch him because he does make everything look super easy to do. Just kind of like this game. It's like it looks super easy. But one of these days, what I'd like to do, just as like a video, it might only be a 20-minute video. But, you know, one of these teardowns where we're having to... Whoop, I don't want that on yet. Where we're having to do like a whole suspension. Uh-oh. Slime man, why are you jumping up stuff in front of me? You almost made my game lock up, man. Hold on, guys. Oh. Can I deal with that in a minute? Alright, I'm not going to do anything with that just right this second. Slime man, though, you shouldn't do that. Alright. Let me get this off, because we got to get front steering knuckle C. But yeah. Yeah, I never actually claimed to be a mechanic, but like I said, I've done a lot of this kind of work just because I'm poor and come from a poor family. I think all teenagers, though, they should know how to at least change a tire and change the oil in a car. And, you know, I could get sexist and be like, all you boys should know how to do that, but girls can learn how to do it too. It just depends on what your specific... You know, there are a lot of girls out there that like to be mechanical like that. That's fine. You know. But yeah, if you're gonna learn how to drive a car, you should learn how to be able to change a tire. That's something I wanted all my children to learn, and unfortunately, only one of them knows how to do that. My oldest, you know, she's got the muscular disease like I do. All of my children have a potential of getting the disease, but she started showing signs of it like super early. And unfortunately, it affected her before she actually got out into the world. And so there's no way she could change a tire if you paid her. If you told her, here's $1 million if you can change your tire, there's no way she could do it. Absolutely none. My oldest son, I didn't teach him how to change a tire, but he's learned because he's had to, you know. Matter of fact, the other day, his car, he had to change, what was it? It was either the headlight or the turn signal light. And in order to get to it, he had to take his tire off. I'm like, are you serious? the way this car is built, you had to take the front tire off, and like the body, you know, they call that like the wheel well, you know, the metal part that's basically is like around. So like if you're looking at it like this end part right here, this metal piece that's in here, yeah, they don't quite show it right on this car, but basically you had to take that off so that it could get up into in the back here where the light, where the back of the headlight is. That's the only way to get to it. It's like, really? But his car, like, see this piece is just on the side? His car, that's all covered, so he had to take that off. Oh yeah, here's a fun fact for you. Do you know gasoline was originally a cleaner? They sold it in drugstores in little bottles. It was a spot remover. The combustion engine, you know, what we base all of our cars and stuff off of, was actually invented to burn, was it peanut oil? It was actually made to burn like a peanut oil, or you know, an oil like that, instead of just, you know, what we use now. It was because petroleum was so cheap because we didn't have a use for it that they decided making these derivatives. And once they realized how easy it is to use petroleum and how, you know, how it's used now, how a combustion engine, they decided to go with it. Thus created our petroleum use. But yeah, could you imagine if they had just kept it on like peanut oil and using it like that? We wouldn't be dependent on anybody for petroleum at all. It's just crazy. Yeah. The actual idea was probably better for the environment than what we do now. It's a B. I'm always buying stuff I don't need. But you know what? Sometimes I'll get a part and be like, oh yeah, I'll use that later. But yeah, that's why you know, everybody's always shocked, like, oh my god, we're making electric vehicles. Well, I mean, technically we shouldn't have one for petroleum. Yeah, gasoline used to be a spot remover. They learned it was highly flammable, obviously. Somebody had to invent, you know, the workings and the makings of getting a car to actually run on gas. And yeah, that's just a crazy idea to me that somebody took something in the world that was actually being used, you know, the combustion engine, who was running on peanut oil, and made it to where, well, first, obviously, the first conversion of that, I believe, was on diesel, which is the more oily of the fuels. And then they got it, they broke it down even more to where it was running on, you know, running on just gasoline. God, I hate my brain right now. Wait. Double wishbone. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, I need one of these. Need a cap. And a spring. Now, do we need two of these? No, that one's fine. Okay. No sense in tearing the old one apart. But yeah, I mean, how amazing is that somebody learned how to do this with just like peanut oil. You know, who would have thought? I mean, heck, people cook with that, you know? Good old George Washington Carver. I can't remember if he's the one that he did, like, there's a book out, like 1,001 Uses for Peanuts. And basically because peanuts were obviously being grown as a food, but they had so much waste product that he basically set upon himself to figure out what all you could, you know, what all could be done with that. And I mean, if you think about that in any other context, that's insane. I mean, could you imagine somebody sitting down and being like, okay, we've got one thing, you know, we got this crop that we can grow that is, you know, a food but has a lot of waste products or this or that. I'm going to come up with a bunch of different ways we can use that because it's a versatile crop. And then, like, not only made it to where it's like, okay, peanuts, ding, one, peanut butter, oh, that can also be, you know, hey, U.S. Pentagon, how's it going? You know, can also be used as a food source and, you know, this. But then he sat down and basically, like, you know, the combustion engine running on peanut oil. It's a really cool book. It's like the only things I can remember out of it, though, because it is massive. What was that piece called? Dang it. But yeah. Like, if I came to you and I was like, hey, I found 50 different ways I can use a potato, you know, and one of them is to make rocket fuel. You'd be like, you need some help? But yeah, I mean, you think about that, and it was used, it could have been used as fuel. So, you know, it's just, it's very unique. Okay, we got... Do we have all the front end back on? I think we do. I'm going to say yes. Okay. Now it's time to tear apart the back. Ew, we got a whole leaf spring that needs to come off. Both. We're going to have to take off these tires. Peanuts! Oh, they were talking about the combustion engine, and I was telling them, hey, do you guys know that was based on, you know, it's supposed to be originally run on peanut oil? Nah, Matt, it's not the real Pentagon. They're not after you. Pentagon's been around here for a little bit. He's just not always here because he's over in England, and it's either late or early for him. I forget. Yeah. Oh, do you guys have daylight saving time over there in the UK? I forget how many places actually use that. Because we just did that again this, you know, recently. Rubber bushings are terrible. Yeah, we're pretty much just gonna take off the entire rear end of this car. Yep, it's all coming off. It's like, nope, it's gotta go. Yeah. Oh, why, Matt? Why? Oh, you're going back to the US on Friday? Nice. Now, Master, I know I've asked this before, but I forgot the answer. Is it Georgia the state or Georgia the country? I would say it's state. One of these days I might remember. Oh yeah, I gotta take this off. Yeah, both leaf spring plates and U-bolts are gone. This actual leaf spring is alright though. The state, okay. Like I said, I don't remember anything. Maybe I'll remember that this time. Yeah, I could have sworn you were from the States. Okay. Okay, I need one of these. 2 of those. 4 of those, and 1 of those. Hey Spark, how's it going? You ever gonna come back to your original name, or are you just gonna keep being a cat and a dog and all those other good fixtures? Been a long day, yeah. Okay. Put the wheel hub on. Hey, we're up to level 27. Nice. This game does have a lot of grind to it. I'll give it that. I can't believe they're making me go to level 30 before I can actually get like the welder. Because I went to the junkyard one time just a while back because I wanted to check and see what it did. I got a whole bunch of parts, which I fixed, but I got a couple of like the muscle cars, you know, the prettier cars. I got a couple of those sitting in my garage to fix up, but I haven't had the welder to put the pieces back, so let's just get 2 new ones of these. Rear shock. Okay, let's go shock. Were they A or B? B, okay. There's one of my followers that's been a follower for a while. His name, he's basically changed his name to Sparkle Bunny. So we call him Sparkler or Spark. But here lately he's been trying to troll a lot of people. He's been coming in with a bunch of different names. Cat with an AK-47, Doggo, he came in as FBI, CIA, just a bunch of different names just to have fun, I guess, but I don't know. I mean, I told him, I was like, you know, it's great that you're trying to up our numbers, but, you know, that doesn't really help grow the channel. Mainly because, I mean, you can't tell your friends about us if your friends are 50 other accounts that you've made. Doesn't quite work that way. Also, if YouTube catches you, you're out. And if they think I'm in on it, they'll take my channel down as well. So, I mean, honestly, guys, if you guys do that kind of thing, don't. Whoop, what? Will you give me that back? That did not need to be on there. Thank you very much. Take that off. Rear axle knuckle housing. Yeah, me and Joe were having a conversation about some of that because, you know, he had somebody doing something on his channel and they were just being a jerk, and he was talking to me about it, and I'm like, yeah, I said, you just got to kind of, you know, if they're gonna do certain things, you just got to kind of block them off your channel or hit the hide button, you know, just to kind of, that way they're not on there. Because he's like, yeah, he's like, with these kids that do this kind of thing, and the person he was talking about, it wasn't any of you guys, it was, you know, this other kid that was on his channel, basically, like, I forget exactly what they were doing, but they're like, they don't realize that, you know, somebody like us who are working on this and trying to get it to be a, like a business type, like, that doesn't look right. No, it's not solid rear drive. You know, trying to turn this into something that could eventually generate some income for us. You know, we basically have to treat this like a business, and here they are doing this kind of stuff, which could get our channels blocked and you know, irrevocably blocked. And it's like, yeah, they don't care. So I don't know. We've had to kind of deal with some extra stuff here lately, but Spark's just been kind of laughing and trolling people, putting up different names, and one of them I didn't particularly care for because he used my profile picture off my Discord, and I'm like, oh, you know, he kept doing that and just laughing about how funny it was, and I'm like, no. So I silenced that one, but I told him he has to behave himself. As long as he's behaving, I'm not going to block him. But I'm just curious why he dropped the Spark. All right, Matt. It's kind of early though, isn't it? I mean, my clock's got 7:41. But yeah, you gotta go sleep. Hot dog on the y-axis? What? What are we hot dogging? Okay, what am I missing here? Oh, I gotta put the drive shaft back on. Okay. I got the leaf springs on. Let me check my... Okay, I got all those. Looks like I got... Okay. I think we're done. Alright, yeah, that had quite a few pieces, but, yay! No, 8:40, yeah, you're still an hour ahead of me. I jumped forward an hour, you're still an hour ahead of me. I get it, man. Yeah, you do what you gotta do. Did I go up another? I did. Yeah, I gotta go up 3 more levels. And then we can start doing the classics. Alright, let's see. Yeah, I got time for a couple more cars up there. Alright, Matt, well, you do what you gotta do, man. It's okay. Let's take this one. Let's see, we got an exhaust, that's gonna be easy. Is this just brakes? Yeah. Alright, Matt, I'll try. No guarantees, though. God, last night was terrible. I went, you know, I actually, you know, I figured, okay, so I'm the night before we did the jump, and I was up till like 5 or 6 because I was up during the jump and I wasn't feeling tired, and I went to bed at what would have been 3 but was 4, and I was like, okay, we're gonna, you know, obviously it's gonna be off. Well, you know, like last night I figured, okay, I'm not, you know, we've already jumped, I've got I've lived all day in this new time. I should be okay, right? I didn't get to sleep till like 6 o'clock this morning. I then got up again like at 1 p.m. So I literally don't know if he was just messing around in chat or what. We never got to the end of that. I usually something like that. I'm like, I don't know if I want to pursue the end of that, you know. Sometimes these kids, though, they're hilarious. Other times it's not so hilarious. Is that exhaust? Yeah, okay. All right, we're gonna, let's see. Front exhaust pipe V8. And what's that rear muffler? Is that also V8? Yeah. Front exhaust V8. There we go. Because this guy showed up, Captain Fox, I thought it was a new person. And he was talking and had been in here a few times, right? So he had been here a few times, and he then, like, his third or fourth time being in here, he started trolling me. And he logged in as one of the other, a different account, and he's like, oh, hey, this is my alt from Captain Fox, right? So he was in here doing that, and then he did something else, and then he did, he did another one. He did, like, he was FBI. He came in as FBI something or other. He came in as CIA. We were talking about KGB because he had heard about KGB going to the military. Well, then he got on here and he spoofed KGB's account, and I was like, oh, hey, KGB, how's it going? I was talking to KGB. Then he was all like, haha, you thought it was the real one. It's me, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay. How I figured out it was Spark, though, he made another alternate account called Doggo, and he put my profile pic from Discord on it. Well, I had looked, and there was no new person that had been added to Discord that would have been the person Captain Fox, because nobody comes into our Discord really a lot. So I knew it had to be Spark. He's the only one out there that's been kind of being a butt munch, about trolling people and getting things. So I called him out on it, and he, I told, I basically shut down that one account, and the next day he got in and he was Captain Fox, and I said, hey, Spark, you gonna be good today? And he answered back, maybe. So, so he's got like, I don't know, 10 different accounts now that he's had on this channel. And, like I've told you guys before, if you're going to make extra accounts, I don't know what actually that serves, because if YouTube catches you doing that, they're going to block your accounts. But also, they're going to ban me if they think I'm in on it. So I don't approve or appreciate that. But yeah, that's what Spark has been like doing now. He's trying to get all these alt accounts and, like, I don't know, just thinking he's trolling. I'm like, well, why is that even funny? I don't understand why it's funny, but apparently he gets amused by it. Because his whole thing was, oh, you better watch out because you don't know which one of these accounts I am. I kind of do. But, I mean, we've always been kind of, kind of friendly community. I don't mind getting new people on here, but when all the new people are the same person over and over again, YouTube's going to crack down on that. And I don't want him to take me with you. Let's see, exhaust manifold, V8. Is that the right one? Yeah, just V8. Oh, well, that's okay. Now you're scared and you change. No, I don't think I'd change it. I mean, it's not like he's hacking accounts. It's just that, you know, I mean, you can get a screenshot from anybody, you know. So changing it, he could just screenshot what you change it to if he wanted to spoof you. But the point is, I think he's starting to wind down now, because I mean, basically if you just say, hey, Spark, what's going on? You notice he tends to shut up. So he doesn't like the fact that that I know that he's Spark. I thought he was a friend, you know, or a subscriber that, you know, wanted to be more friendly, but you know, it's like, why? All right, yeah, this one's the easy. We'll do the easiest one first. I don't get it. I don't see the entertainment value in doing that. I really don't. Okay, can I get that piece from here? Front exhaust section A 13. Okay. Whoop. There it is. Okay. Yeah, his car only needed 3 pieces and only one of them from underneath. It's like, oh man. Okay. Front exhaust manifold 13. Yep, that definitely needs off of there. Exhaust manifold 13, okay. I don't know why I put front on there, that's the problem. Yeah. Yeah. Change your picture, huh? Okay. Alright, like I said, yeah, I wouldn't, I mean, clearly he's not gonna, like, hack your account, but... I just don't get it. I don't get what the fun is. Like, ooh, I'm pretending to be somebody else. And I think everybody on the internet kind of pretends a little bit to be somebody else. But I'd rather just be me. Got a lot of time and effort trying to be myself, you know? I think I'm a pretty decent person, so... There we go. All right, let's see. All right, I'll probably be on here for about another 30 minutes or so. So we probably have just enough time to figure out every braking problem on this car. Who knows? This might be pretty quick, and maybe we'll get another one in. Okay. While you were visiting the Pentagon. Cool. I can't quite make out what it is because my game, the way I've got it sitting here, like takes over half the picture side. So I'll have to look at it here in a minute once I get done like streaming and whatnot. Okay, I actually don't think this side has much braking issues. Yeah, like unless the brake pad, yeah, the brake pads. Scratch that, the brake pad's bad. Yeah, like this kind of stuff. That's kind of stuff that we would basically be forced to do on weekends. And like I said with this game, like when you redo your brakes, this game basically makes it to where, oh, you take off one. No, if one's bad, like in very rare circumstances, would you only need to replace one? Because they work as a team. I mean, unless you... Now, here's a rare circumstance where that's not the case. If you've got... all brakes work on a hydraulic system. So you've got... And that's another thing this doesn't have, is the lines. The brake lines are not in this game. I'd hope they'd add them to like a future release, because that's just another extra part of the puzzle that you could figure out and have to bleed. Yeah, that's just a little extra that they don't have. So yeah, honestly, I thought he did there for a while, yeah. Yeah, honestly, I mean, we were having some trouble with this other guy called Bongo Cat. And I can't say for 100% for sure if that wasn't Spark just being an idiot. But I'd like to say it wasn't him, just because that guy was very racist. But I can't say 100% for sure whether it was or not. So I'm not going to even speculate. I'm just going to let that go. And I think we got him banned and dealt with, as it was. But yeah, Bongo Cat was over here for a minute, and I know, Master, you had dealings with him. He actually tried to tell me that he was EEE, that EEE guy that we had for a while. And I'm like, why would you do that? Probably about 30 minutes, Master. Or Slime, man. Why did I say I'm just Bam? Hey, Spark, how's it going? Just gonna go as troll today? Well, if I'm even gonna call it, right? Why are you not using your Spark name? I thought that was actually kind of unique. Just out of curiosity. Oh man, okay, wait, let me see if I can... sometimes I can repair the calipers. Which is, again, something you shouldn't be able to do. If it's just completely bad, it should be completely bad. There we go. Oh, we're gonna play it like that? Okay. Hey Spark, I got a really good question for you. Were you Nitro? I can't believe, no, don't. Okay, look, I don't care how good that piece is. Is it any good? Okay, no. Can we take that off, please? I don't care how good that piece is. Yeah, no, that needs replaced. I don't care. That needs replaced. That is way too rusty, even though it's only 50%. Why didn't that replace? Oh, okay, I guess I gotta get one. You're so confused, you're serious? Why is somebody talking as you now? I don't see a difference in the way they're set up. But, Master, are you being copied? Okay, I got two parts that I haven't found yet, which I'm betting are in the engine. If I can get up there high enough. Yep, okay. I know my cars. I know what I gotta do. What are you not doing? That's the question. Uncrustable, huh? Okay, I need ABS parts. I think we got all the pieces that are on here. Yep, okay. Oh yeah, we got that done in like, I don't know, 5 minutes. Let's see if we got some more easier ones we can do. Transmission and brakes, we can do that. Yeah, think about why people have to use the internet to be idiots. Sounds like a good reason, good thing to contemplate. Okay, how many cards did I get? Okay, do we have an... Oh, get off of there. This one is... Car doesn't start. Alright, we might be able to knock both these out. Yeah, I think somebody has tried to copy master. Which, as soon as I find the copy, I'll just mute it. It's easy enough to fix. Okay, you got poor brakes. See, it's little stuff like this so that I shouldn't have to go through and do this kind of things. But because somebody thinks it's hilarious, they're gonna act like this. And honestly, it just makes me... It doesn't really do anything to me, other than waste some time, which is dumb. But, yeah. Now I'm just gonna start making it to where, like, all the troll accounts that I find, I'm just gonna start muting. Hey, Pentagon, welcome back. Alright, we got, transmission problems. Okay, not exhaust. I heard noise and I'm like, oh, get the exhaust. Okay, is your... Why? Why do you do this to me? You stupid car. I can get the starter right there. I hate that. It just arbitrarily, like, oh, this starter you gotta get from the top. No. Also, your solenoid's bad. Yeah, ignition coil. Yeah, bitch bad. Okay, take off starter. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna put the flywheel on. We'll get a clutch. Or clutch in this case, because I can't type tonight. Okay. Yeah, that gearbox is shot. Okay, we need a new one of those. What is it, a 16? 16B? Is that right? Yeah. That white on white is really hard for me to read. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, you get some teenagers that just get bored and think that that's okay to do. I don't get it. I don't see a reason to do it. It just wastes time, but you know, whatever. We'll get it locked down eventually and make it to where it's not going to be as fun for them. Okay, we need to put the starter back on. This ignition coil needs to be replaced. No. Type. Let's just do coil. Ignition coil B. Yes, that's what I want. Also known as a solenoid. Had to replace many of those. Let's put the starter back on. Yeah, we'll use the one that's pretty good. Okay, what do I got? Poor brake performance, transmission. Transmission good. Okay, we just got to do brakes. All right. On to the nitty-gritty. All right, Slime, you take it easy, man. Okay. Brakes are terrible. See, the one good thing about brakes is you know you don't have to go any farther into the wheel well there than that. I've got Doggo muted, so if you see him on here, I can't. You shouldn't technically be able to see him. He's supposed to be muted from the channel. So unless he's on a different server or something somewhere. Okay. God, almost all of these discs are bad. Alright, let me see what I can repair. Yeah, here's another thing you can't do. These little guys, you can't repair these. The game's gonna have me repair one, but you can't. It's not just about the rust that's on the outside. They're hydraulic on the inside, and you can't repair that. Just like you shouldn't be able to knock the rust off of those. Also, man, why? All these parts that I could have used if I'd known I could repair them. Alright, so we got... let's see. I'm gonna get brakes, but I'm gonna do. Okay, we need at least one of these. I don't know about the drums themselves, though. Okay. Good, those are fine. About the shoes. Yeah, so you shouldn't be able to repair those either, but the game is letting me do it. Because that's your actual, like... what's the... 50? Yeah, that's fine. Let me get at least one of those before I change over to the brake side. There we go. There's one down. Okay, there we go. Okay, I think I need 2 of these. Probably need like all the brakes and everything too, but we'll see. I know these I can't really repair. Yeah, I'm just gonna get new brake pads. But yeah, like the game sometimes it'll be like, oh, you can take one side. And unless you, like, you've had like a caliper lock up to where it's not squeezing at all, that's like the only time you'd ever need to just repair one side. Because I've had that happen where like you just replace the brakes and everything looked okay, but for some reason, whether it be a brake line or the caliper itself, it froze up to where it wasn't squeezing. So your car was being stopped by one side. So your brake pad on one side was completely gone. Just like it had squeezed to the point there, it just sheared off. You know, it'd been like months and months or whatever long they, you know, hadn't gone and got brakes. And the other side was perfectly brand new. But the side that was breaking was like bare metal. The shoe part was gone. That's like the only time we've ever been like, you know what? This is brand new, it doesn't need to be replaced. But normally when you're replacing brakes, you just do both sides anyway. Because they should wear evenly. Or pretty close to being even anyway. And sometimes you get brakes and you go to put new ones on, and for whatever stupid reason, like the caliper is just, it's closed just a little bit. So you can't actually get the pad to fit back over the brake disc. It's terrible. Okay, all that's done. Transmission noisy, all that's done, all that's done. Okay, yeah, it's like 10 minutes worth of work, bam. Oh, I forgot to put that on, okay. See, that's user error right there. It's like, oh yeah, I forgot to put the drive shaft back on. Yep, just screw that down. It'll be fine. Okay. Alright, let me see here. I don't know, Master. I'm pretty sure it's Spark, even though Troll's saying he's not Spark. However, I did just now block that. Hey, Philippines, welcome to the stream. I'm trying to crack down on that. I'm gonna need your guys' help though. I mean, obviously we want to make sure we're only getting a hold of people that aren't actual people. Nice. Well, I'm glad to see you. Let's see. Yeah, I tend to play this game like every Monday or so. Once a week. I try not to bore people with it. I do a lot of different games though. Yeah, welcome to the stream. Check out some of my other videos while you're there. Hopefully I'm entertaining for you. Oh, there's a lot wrong with this engine. It won't start. Ugh. Okay, well, I know that definitely needs to be replaced, so we'll start with that. Yeah, you gotta ignore the chat tonight. We've got a troll in here. And he's trying to spoof accounts and stuff, so yeah, it's usually better. I've got a pretty good set of people, but you know, you get a hold of a kid that thinks it's funny to do stuff like that, and he tends to kind of ruin it for everybody. But we'll get it cleaned out. Hopefully. I think it's just one person, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, you came in just at the end of the stream too, because I'll be playing this probably for another 10 minutes, and then I'm gonna get off and go find dinner. Car on lifters, okay. Alright, what all do we need to do to this? Car doesn't start. The engine is working, but it's choppy. Tapping sound from engine bay, brake issues. Okay, so all this is going to pretty much be engine. Okay. Got a lot of, oh, look at these a lot of these pieces are just terrible. Okay, ugh. 37%. What is 34? I mean, technically... Here, hold on a minute. Alright, I forgot to do something. White hat hacker. That kind of sounds like something Spark would say. Because he's always trying to dox people. Alright, because it's having so many engine issues, let me run my bigger tests here. Okay, so the car's too old for that one. Darn, that's like one of my better ones too. Let's do a compression test, see if there's anything wrong with the pistons. Got some down in the 33 range, but it doesn't mean they're necessarily bad. What other tests do we have here? We could do fuel pressure test. Just to see. That one's usually pretty useless though, because you can tell like right off the bat if it's an issue or not. Yeah, fuel filter, fuel pump, we would have seen those no problem. What's my other test? I got the electrical. Yeah. I forget if that anything even... Well, I guess it tells me if the battery's okay. But you can take it off and put it back on just as easy. Alternator says it's bad. Well, I can see that. Look how covered in crud that thing is. Oh, good gravy. Alright, so car doesn't start, engine, fuel pump, ignition coil, fuel filter, tapping sound, alternator, okay. Actually, the engine's not, it's covered in rust, but it's not like 100% down, so we only have like 6 parts we gotta find, so this should be okay. How's the belt? 39%. Okay, alternator 3%. Yeah, that's bad. Okay. We know it's not anything in the things of a water pump maybe? I mean, all this stuff is covered and covered. Let's just 35%. I mean, I would say yes, but so far no. Alternator. What else can make a tapping noise? Let's think. Alright, that was power steering, not water pump. I'm gonna take off all the pulleys just to make sure it's not the timing. Yeah, I didn't think so, slime. Slime, you're gonna help me. We might have to implement it tomorrow, but we've got... There's gonna be a couple things I'm gonna put into effect to kind of help cut down on this, because when this starts going on, nobody's having fun. And that's not how I want my channel to be. Let's see. Okay, car doesn't start. Probably this. Everything in this engine is so close together. Okay. Well, are you sure? Because, I mean, I like it, but I just don't know how much I would play it on my PC. I mean, I do plan on getting, at some point, you know, a working Xbox. It's just, yeah, I don't know how much I would play it on the PC. I've got so many other things that I'm trying to do on the PC that, yeah. I mean, just honestly, just, you know, if I'm just being honest, I just don't know how much I would play it on the PC itself. But yeah, I have, because I mean, when I thought about it, all right, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. I've got a couple things that I need to do, and I need to go find dinner. But so thank everybody for stopping by, checking out my channel. I appreciate it. We'll have some more fun things to do. I don't know what game I'm going to play tomorrow, but we'll make it something a little more fun. I'll probably leave this mess right here until the next time that I play. But anyway, guys, just thanks for checking it out. Subscribe if you haven't. Like I said, we've got a lot of fun things that go on this channel. Stay healthy, stay safe, stay warm, stay out of the hospital if you can. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night.